In 2019, Netflix revealed that at that time, the average subscriber spent about 2 hours per day watching Netflix. That's around 60 hours of entertainment per month for 10 to 15 bucks. Not a bad deal, except for one problem. Opportunity cost. Because over the course of 10 years, Netflix does not just cost you a monthly subscription fee, it also costs the average viewer over 7,000 hours. Opportunity cost is a term that describes the cost of the value you lose out on when you choose between different options. And 7,000 hours is more than 3 years worth of 40-hour work weeks. It's enough time to nearly master a classical instrument, enough time to train as both an airline pilot and a software developer twice, enough time to read several hundred books, or to earn $70,000 at only $10 an hour. Or, my personal favorite, enough time to learn French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, Hebrew, Greek, German, Vietnamese, and Swedish. I will put a link for the source for that in the description, it's kind of interesting. That is what the average Netflix subscriber could achieve in 10 years by dedicating that same amount of time to something else. And remember how at only $10 an hour you could earn a potential $70,000 over that period? Well, if you continued that process and invested all of your proceeds into a good mutual fund, which tend to return about 10% interest per year, compounded over 30 years, that comes out to $1,184,000. If you're like 20 right now, that makes you a millionaire around age 50, which is 15 years before most people's retirement will kick in, and you will have earned that money in your spare time that you would have otherwise been watching Netflix. And if you don't subscribe to Netflix, the same basic principle applies to just about any streaming service or form of social media that you spend a lot of time on. And don't get me wrong, I'm definitely not perfect at this. I spend more time than I would like to admit absentmindedly on my phone at times, and that's actually the reason I'm making this video. What I am saying is that we all need to consider an important factor that we often neglect in life: the long-term effects of our decisions. See, we all basically have 3 currencies that we use as we go through life. Our money, of course, is the one we're used to thinking about, but also our time and our energy. And in life, every choice we make is essentially an opportunity for us to either spend or invest these currencies. And when we invest our currencies, they tend to lead to disproportionately large returns over long periods of time. Turning our Netflix time into $1 million, for example. Where we can run into problems is our tendency to look at things from a short-term perspective. On any given day, especially as a beginner, watching 2 hours of Netflix is far more enticing than going to the gym for 2 hours. The gym will be painful, require energy expenditure. As a beginner, you probably feel like you don't know what you're doing. You might feel like you don't belong in the gym. You're not sure what to do. You feel a little embarrassed. And at the end of the day, you'll look pretty much exactly the same as you do right now. Kicking back and watching TV, on the other hand, requires no expenditure of energy, no sore muscles, you don't have to feel awkward in a gym, and you get a constant stream of that delicious dopamine directly to your brain, no effort required. And your body will still look basically the exact same as if you'd gone to the gym instead. Seems like a great deal, right? Except, as we all actually know, wrong. 2 years down the line, the person who has repeatedly gone to the gym will be in much better shape, they'll be healthier, most likely more physically attractive, they'll probably have met new people at the gym and made new friends, they'll be more confident because they push themselves out of their comfort zone, they'll have less stress and anxiety in their life, and the person who watched all that TV, our hypothetical average Netflix viewer, will have in that time spent over 1,400 hours watching Netflix. And they'll be lucky if they're still in the same shape they were in 2 years ago. Most people will probably be in worse physical and mental condition. Over 2 years, it's the difference between living a healthier lifestyle and having shredded six-pack abs and knowing all the lines in Friends. And over 10 years, or more, the differences become massive. It's the difference between somebody who runs marathons regularly and somebody who never gets off the couch. It's the difference between being able to have a conversation about the latest trending TV show and being able to have a conversation in Japanese, and Arabic, and Swahili, and Norwegian. The difference seems small at first, and it is small at first. Any single day rarely makes a noticeable difference, which is why we so frequently cheat ourselves out of those long-term results. But the differences don't stay small. Remember, even if you only value your time at around $10 an hour right now, over the course of 30 years, if invested and allowed to compound, that 2 hours a day becomes worth more than $1 million. And I believe that if we all continue to apply ourselves and learn new skills and allow our own value to compound over time, we can all provide far more than $10 per hour worth of value to this world. None of this is to say that it is morally wrong for you to kick back and watch some TV every so often, but it is to say that that should not be the default way we spend our time. Because it is spending our time and not investing our time. It's gone and we don't really get anything significant in return for it. And sure, you might argue that zoning out on TV or spending time on social media is something that people do when they're tired and don't really have energy to do anything else anyway. But I would counter that if most people spent that same 2 hours a day split between reading a book, exercising a little bit, doing some meditation, and God forbid, sleeping a little more, they might find themselves with more clarity, more creativity, and more energy than they've ever had before. The point is just be intentional. Choosing to take a day off to relax, watch a little TV, and chill, intentionally giving yourself a rest and relaxation day and not feeling guilty about it, that's completely acceptable. But if every day you get home and you slump down, you turn on the TV because that's your default and you just kind of zone out, that happens day in and day out, there's a tremendous difference in the intention between those two scenarios. You don't necessarily have to cancel your streaming services, delete all social media, and become a monk. That's not what I'm saying. If you genuinely enjoy those things and they bring you real happiness, then more power to you. I wish you the best. I'm also slightly jealous of you. But if, like me, you sometimes find yourself just absent-mindedly scrolling on your phone or watching a video and then halfway through you're like, I don't even know why I'm watching this, and you don't enjoy that feeling, then we need to break out of that habit and be a little bit more intentional with the way we spend or invest our time. So many people fall into that trap of spending their 3 life currencies, their time, energy, and their money, on those instant gratification short-term decisions. I'm sure most of us have known somebody who always seemed to complain that they never have enough time, money, or energy, and yet whenever they seem to have any time, money, or energy, they spend it in a really stupid way. Some of us have probably been that person. But when we fight back and decide to intentionally invest our time, money, and energy, our currencies, into our future and into ourselves, instead of absent-mindedly spending them and throwing them away, then we start to set ourselves up for success in the future, which can change our life in very real and very dramatic ways. Remember, change starts slow. The difference between being an athlete and a couch potato will not be obvious after a day, or a week, or probably a month, or maybe a year. But after 10 years, it'll be a big difference. In the long run, less of that time will have been spent and more of it will have been invested into you, and you are your own greatest asset. Just remember, almost everything is an investment, and if you don't have a plan for how to invest your time, money, or energy, somebody else does. Social media and streaming services love when you spend your time with them, fast food places love when you spend your money with them, and toxic relationships love when you spend your energy with them. But while all of these things might contribute to those short-term hits of dopamine, in the long run they will all take far more than they give. So be aware, keep an eye out, and look for opportunities to make your life better for your future self instead of worse for your future self. That's something to be proud of, right? Tomorrow won't be worse, it won't be the same, but it'll be better because of what you did today. That's progress. Keep that up for a month, a year, a decade. Who knows how good that could get. So, do I literally suggest you cancel your Netflix subscription and spend the next 30 years working an extra 2 hours a day at $10 an hour and invest it all into a mutual fund to become a millionaire? Probably not, no. And I'm not a financial advisor anyway. By all means, feel free, enjoy a little bit of TV here and there, but probably don't spend 7,000 hours watching Netflix over the next 10 years if you can avoid it. I do suggest you take stock of your time and your energy and invest them intentionally in things that you think will make your life better in the long run and you think will make you happier tomorrow. After all, the more we invest into our futures and into ourselves, the greater our future potential. And if you want to take full advantage of your future potential, then check out this video right here where I show you how to take your dream life and goals and break those down into daily action steps that you can follow to achieve basically anything you want in life and then start investing in the future you today. So check that out. Thanks for watching. Bye.